My federation, the Queensland Racing Pigeon Federation, they're flying the west route this year out to Windora, about 1,100 kilometres. We fly 3 different directions, alternating each year. This west route, last time we flew it, returns have been very bad. Not only the last time, the last 3 or 4 times. So the last 10 or 12 years, returns have been terrible from this west route. There's been lots of theories put forward as to why that might be. The falcons are certainly playing a part in it. We've got a lot less flyers these days, a lot less birds going up. It makes it a lot easier for the falcons to tear into the packs and break them up. And the other thing on the west is they've got to cross the Great Dividing Mountain Range. And if they're down low, they can get picked off going through there. They've also got to find valleys and ways around certain areas of it, so it's very easy for them to get disorientated or smacked around by the falcons. A lot of birds get lost. The other problem is our federation now is very widespread. We're all along the coastline, so over to the east, the longest northern marker to the longest southern marker is probably about 150 kilometres now. So that means the pigeons are coming home on a 150 kilometre wide front. So if they're not on the right line of flight, it's really easy for them to get lost as well. We're trying something different this year. We're trying separate releases, north side and south side, half an hour apart. The idea is that those first 6 races, which are club races, the birds can learn to track their right direction. That seems to be working. The first race, I had 29 out of 30 birds home, which was very pleasing compared to what's happened in previous years when we're flown the west. So my idea is to do a bit of video on these next 5 races, because we're already flown that one. These next 5 races and see how we go. Take you on a bit of a tour of the property. Most of you have seen all this before. This area back here, this is where I sit on race day. Put a bit of a cover over, keep the sun off you, and wait for the pigeons here. It's a fair way from the loft. The loft, well, there's the loft down the background there. Give you a bit of a view of the property. So behind all of those trees and bushes there is the swimming pool and the house. There's another garage behind those trees there. It's a bit of a cubby house for the grandkids up there. There's my weather vane up on the top, and that's the western route over that way. I'll walk over there and show you a bit of that. So that's the loft. You've all seen the loft. See more of it in the next lot of videos. So there's the old finch cages down the back there. I keep a few old stock birds down there. And I can also put the youngsters down there during the breeding season if I want to breed them a bit earlier. All this behind us used to be paddocks. For the last 3 or 4 years, all the blocks have been sold. So now we've got a lot of neighbours around us, which we didn't used to have. This property next door is a vacant block of land, used to have a house on it. But some kids decided to burn it down. So now it's just a vacant block of land. It's the back of my shed. The weather vane's up there. Just have to shake a bit trying to get up this hill. So that's the back of the loft. You can see a bit of the house down there. A lot of trees around this property, a lot of gum trees. Get quite a few goshawks hide in those gum trees, try to attack the pigeons. So some more views of the property. Now over there, that's the west. The route we're flying is slightly west-northwest. So the birds should come straight over that property there, straight over the shed, my shed, and land on the loft. But they either come out of the south or they come out of the north. They haven't been coming out of the north so far this year because of these separate releases. But once we all go up together and they're coming home on that 150 kilometre front, you get birds coming from every direction. So that's a bit of a look at the layout around my loft. Second race, Jondaryan again. Got a gusty east-southeasterly wind. A few showers about. It's going to be a tough one today. The birds were released from Jondaryan at 10:30 a.m. Fairly fine conditions up there. That southeasterly wind kept blowing most of the day. I was hopeful might get one somewhere around the 1100, but it turned out to be a pretty long wait. It wasn't until just after 1 o'clock my first bird turned up. I was doing 1,005 metres a minute, which ended up being well off the pace. The good thing was that they kept coming all afternoon. I was pretty pleased with that. I sent 30 birds to the race, and I ended up getting 28 out of the 30 home, which was a pleasing result, even though I didn't do too well in the race. So that's race number 2 completed. Saturday, 7th of June, the third Jondaryan race, 158 k's to me. A little bit of high cloud around today, very light winds at the moment, forecast for a little bit of westerly. There's the weather vane there is pointing west, so it'll give them a little bit of assistance. The first bird came in high out of the south. Before I could get the camera ready, it was already coming down, but it wasn't a race bird, it was a trainer. First bird home was a trainer. They're like bloody dots. Let's hope this is a race bird. That second bird was a race bird, not that much mattered. The first bird or the second bird, both of them were well off the pace. As far as the velocity was concerned, I was doing about 1570 something, I think it was. And the pigeons, or the winning pigeons, were doing around 1700, so quite a way off the pace. Or when you look at it in minutes, probably about 7 or 8 minutes that I need to be there, but still well off the pace. But once again, the birds kept coming all afternoon. I ended up with 29 out of my 30 birds, and I sent 40 trainers as well, and I ended up losing just one of those as well. So 39 out of 40 trainers, so I was very pleased with the weekend, even though once again the result didn't go my way. Anyway, they live to fight and win another day. Saturday, the 14th of June, 25. Beautiful morning. Light winds, blue skies. Away at Dalby this week, 190 k's for me. Winds up there mainly southerly, light winds. I've got 70 birds away, 40 trainers, 30 race birds. So we'll see how we go today. Unfortunately, my camera failed, or actually I probably pressed the wrong button and didn't record what I wanted to record, so I only had this one camera over the side, taking some shots. This first pigeon here, unfortunately, was another trainer. It was a good trainer though. It was doing 13.25, which would have placed it up in the top 5 in the release, but like I said, it was a trainer. Luckily, I only had to wait another about 40 seconds for 2 birds to turn up, and they were both race birds. They were doing 13.19, and that was good enough for 10th from the release. I think there's about 1,200 pigeons in the release, so they're coming a little bit better. I might add that these are all young birds, or yearlings. They're about 7, 9 months old, born last spring, and it's now the middle of winter. The reason I'm sending so many, 40 trainers and 30 race birds, trying to get as much experience into them while we're having these separate releases, trying to get them to come online. Of course, it's a bit of a risk sending that many pigeons, but once again, I was very pleased with the returns. I ended up getting 29 out of my 30 race birds, and I also got 39 out of 40 of the trainers. So all up, I ended up getting 68 out of 70 home once again. So all in all, a good weekend. Never seen so many trying to get in the bath at one time. I'm really keen. It's Monday evening after the 4th race of the year, and the birds have got a much improved appetite, really improved over the last week. They were well off the pace in the first 3 races, but a big improvement last Saturday, and I think that follows on from this big improvement in their appetite. I had 70 birds away on the weekend. 40 of them were trainers, 30 were race birds. Of course, I got a trainer first. A trainer was doing 13.25, which would have been good enough for about 5th in the south release. waited 40 seconds to get 2 race birds, and they placed 10th in the south release. So that was a better performance. For this appetite, Monday night, really hungry, even though they were fed all they could eat on the Saturday and the Sunday. This is what I'm looking for. This is the second tin already, and they're still looking for a lot more. Very pleased with the way their appetite. Hopefully their performances are going to improve with it. Second tin with the cocks. And they too are very hungry. It's a good start for the week. If we've got this good appetite after their race on Saturday and their training toss, I like to see a good appetite on the Monday. It gives me a good starting point to build them up towards the end of the week. This is Dalby again, 190 k's to my place. So this is the second Dalby. It's an overcast day, mainly cloudy, some drizzle around, occasional bit of blue sky will appear. There's also southeasterly headwinds. The winds are coming off the ocean. They're usually strong. We're talking about 15 to 25 k's, so it's going to be a bit tough on the pigeons. I've sent everything in the loft to this race. It's raining right now actually. Actually not quite everything. I've kept half a dozen birds back. They're either injured or flown out, that type of thing. So I've got 80 trainers away and 30 race birds. The birds are gone up at 9:30. So it's a little bit hard to predict how long they're going to take today on this west route. They're either earlier than what you think or later than what you think. So I think about 3 hours. If I can get one doing around 1100, I think I'll be doing all right. Just got to hope I get a race bird first, because the trainers and race birds all go up together, because we got these separate releases. The reason I sent everything in the loft was because I've got to travel for a wedding in a couple of weeks. I'll be away for a week. The birds are going to be locked down. I'll miss 2 races. And also I want to try and get as many birds as possible, getting used to this route coming home while we got these separate releases for the south. Hopefully they can track online and learn something. Anyway, I'll bring the cameras back on around 12:30, something like that, or maybe 12 o'clock, and have a look then. This is a spreadsheet I use to keep track of all the pigeons I'm racing. I not only keep track of them, but also as a selection for each week's race. So you can see this week Dalby, they've already had the Jondaryan, Dalby, and the second Dalby. So all those with R obviously are racing, and those with T are trainers. The ones with the cross are the ones that I decided not to send. That bird was home next day last week, flowing down a bit, so I didn't send that. This bloke was injured in a toss, so I didn't send him. But as you can see, I've sent every other pigeon, bar a couple here. They were next day last week. These 2 I didn't send, but every other pigeon's gone, so it's a bit of a risk. Over here I've got the parents of them, so I can look up the parents of every pigeon, ring numbers of them. Good spreadsheet to have. I update it on the computer each week and then make my selections based on how each bird is going. So hopefully I get a lot home and I can send them all back again next week to the next Dalby. 11:30, 2 hours since release. It's closed right in now and drizzling rain. Not very nice day for racing, that's for sure. But anyway, there's not much we can do about it now. They're up and on their way. So I'll see, maybe if I can get one by 12:30, be doing pretty well, I reckon. They're home this time last week from this race point. Obviously totally different weather though. The weather has broken a bit. There's a bit of blue sky around. You can see that wind is moving very fast, straight out of the east, southeast, right on their noses. So they certainly won't be doing anything like the velocity they did last week. Well, it's really raining now, pouring down. The forecast for today was partly cloudy, 25% chance of a light shower, maybe 1 millimetre. Well, we're getting a hell of a lot more than that. So what's the time now? It's 12:10. So it's not looking too good. Can't go out in the rain to see if I can film anything coming in the air. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. steadily blowing too now. It's bloody wet. This is not the sort of weather you want to be racing pigeons. Bloody miserable. Still spitting rain, but it's eased off a bit now. Here come some pigeons, 5 of them, going straight over. One of them pulled out, now he's decided to come back. Come on then, come on, come on. Not trying, not thinking. And over with those 5, and now he's decided to come back. Come on then, come on. Come on then, get back. Come on. Come on then. Come on, stupid, quick. Well, at least it was at least it was a race pigeon. Doing 1084. Now look at them now. Coming in like brown cows. Come on then, come on. I was reasonably happy with that velocity. It was pretty good for my area. Back a little bit overall, but once again the returns were great. I got 30 out of 30 race birds and 109 out of the 110 that were sent. So overall, very good. It's Saturday the 28th of June 25. Just after 10 o'clock, the pigeons went up at 10. The forecast down here is for partly cloudy skies with cloud and showers increasing this afternoon. There's light winds here. Up at the release report they said it was overcast with patchy clouded areas. I've no idea what that means. The winds over the range are southeasterly headwinds and much stronger than down here. So we'll come back a bit later and see if we can work out what time these pigeons might get home. Okay, so it's now 20 past 12, so it's been 2 hours, 20 minutes since they were released. The velocity's in about the mid 1300s, that's metres per minute at the moment, so they're not going to do that. I'm thinking somewhere between 12:30 and 1:45. The weather's holding. We have had a couple of spots of rain, but nothing much. A lot of blue skies around, or a lot of blue sky around. Hopefully that'll hold till they get here. Anyway, let's come back a little bit closer. It's now 12:40. Velocity's down to 1188. Weather's still holding. It's looking quite good actually. So maybe near that 1100 or maybe just below it. It's hard to judge. Not much wind here. A little bit of southerly here, which is sort of a side headwind. Most of the wind was on the ranges, so it's just a question of what speed they did getting over those ranges. Kookaburra going crook at something. More breeze starting to blow. It's more southerly rather than southeasterly though. Still, it's not a helping wind, that's for sure. And velocity now is what, 1150? 56 if you want to be accurate. Kookaburra's going crook at something. Can see something somewhere. But like all pigeon racing, the skies are vacant, and all of a sudden there's a pigeon. It's all over very quickly. It's nearly Getting on for 5 to 1. Coming up for 3 hours. There's a pigeon. Just gotta hope it's a race pigeon. Yes, 10.93 actually the velocity is. So we got a pigeon and it's a race pigeon first. Just came out of nowhere, that pigeon, so I'm not sure what direction. It's down low, comes straight in. So now we got to get a few more home, because once again I've sent every pigeon in the loft. Well, as usual, there's always a couple that aren't quite right to go, so they stayed at home, but basically every pigeon in the loft's gone, so something like 110 pigeons. I lost one last week out of 110. I've seen a couple of those ones that didn't go last week, so they're gone. So now we need some good returns. Here's another one. Come on then, come on. Come on then. Not exactly pouring in, are they? There's the kookaburra. That bird was the trainer. One of the trainers home. Another hen. She's doing 1080. Once again, the returns have been unbelievable. It's only been an hour since that first bird arrived here, and there's already 75 out of 86 trainers home and 24 out of 28 race birds. I sent them all in the loft once again. I think there's 4 inside that loft that I didn't send. I weren't quite up to it. The returns with these separate releases have been outstanding. I've been sending practically everything in the loft for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully now, the way they're coming home, they're on the line of flight, and when we all go together next week, north and south up together, then these birds may track the right way. I better get out of the road, another pigeon wants to. I'm just sitting out the back waiting for these last few pigeons to come home. It's a bloody good feeling when you're racing and you get good returns. Beautiful weather. The forecast was for cloud increasing and showers. That hasn't happened, not yet. As a matter of fact, it's cleared a lot. It's a balmy 22 degrees here, middle of winter in Brisbane. Just beautiful. Well, that's it for the club races. They're all finished. From now on, it's all federation races. Good luck, everyone.